Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lecture. Today, we're going to be looking at integrating career and personal counseling. And in my previous lectures, I did talk about the relationship or the connections between career counseling and personal counseling. I said that these were closely related because issues that arise from um, career counseling impacts a person's personal life in the same way whatever issues that arise from a person's job also impacts their personal life. And so we want to look at these interconnections and how best to address these issues in a holistic way. Um, One thing about um, work itself, especially in the United States, is that work is a very important aspect of people's life. People define themselves by their work. People derive an income or a source of livelihood from their jobs. People um, derive interpersonal relationships from their jobs. So the jobs provide them with the opportunities to interact with others um, on a social level. And people also achieve self-actualization through their job. So when a person achieves success on their job, they find fulfillment, and that's one of the things that most people use in defining themselves in terms of the level of success that they've achieved on a job. Work gives meaning to many areas of a person's life, and so when we uh, address a client's work-related problems, we should address them aggressively in a very holistic manner. But how do we effectively integrate career counseling um, into personal counseling or integrate personal concerns into career counseling? That's what we're going to be looking at shortly. Uh, what is being suggested as the best approach is to look at this in a very holistic way, a more inclusive way, uh, and not to address each of these concerns in isolation. Oftentimes, when clients come to us to address their psychological needs, we would find that the source of their concerns are uh, oftentimes the source of their concerns arise from personal problems that they may have. And so we have to address their concerns in a holistic manner. If a person is going through divorce, that is likely to impact them emotionally and also impact their ability to focus on their jobs and do their jobs well. And so starting in the night, starting let's say in the 50s and 60s and getting down to especially the 90s, there is a call to integrate personal and career counseling in such a way that these problems are addressed, problems that are related to personal um, aspects of a person's life and their jobs addressed together. In order to do that, counselors and the clients need to work together to develop the client's self and situational knowledge as shaped in their environment. Um, they need to identify what the issues are. They need to identify what the concerns are. They need to identify um, things that contribute to some of those issues. And how those issues also are situated within the environment and in that person. Um, like I said before, personal problems and career problems are often intertwined. And so, career counseling itself becomes a highly personal matter, such that we would have to sometimes look at the person's personal life um, and several aspects of yourself and how that is related to their work and their life overall. One of the models that's used in bringing together career and personal concerns and to address them in a holistic manner is the biopsychosocial model. This model looks at the interplay of biological and psychological as well as social influences on a person's career. And the um, focus for counselors is on the multiple life roles that the person will play. For instance, you would find that a person is much more than a worker. That person is also someone's father, a husband. That person also plays a role maybe in the community, maybe in their churches. And so all those multiple roles have a bearing on the person's conception of themselves and the challenges that they have, as well as their relationship to others, their relationship with um, others in the community, to life itself, and to work. And so the biopsychosocial model um, looks at these interrelationships and tend to focus more on the challenges that arise from the multiple roles that people play and how best to make sure that they achieve um, some type of balance and some type of satisfaction in all these roles. One thing that we can be certain of is that all life roles can impact a person's personality in several ways. And for instance, if you are a father and you are also someone's husband and you were married for several years and you um, are currently going through a divorce or breakup, that is likely to create several psychological problems, including depression, maybe like anxiety and others. And so, um, life roles that individuals play, especially when they have some kind of problems, are likely to impact the person's personality, and that um, creates problems for them, or that creates psychological dysfunction. And so we have to look at these interrelationships in terms of the person's career, in terms of their affective, cognitive, behavioral, and cultural dimensions, and how these interrelationships um, create problem for the person overall. And so, not to overstress on this issue, uh, we have to bear in mind that anxiety and tensions that a person has either in their personal life or in their jobs can result in confusion and increase the person's vulnerability to develop a psychological disorder. Um, Divorce can lead to people having sometimes mental breakdown. Work related stress can impact a person's life in such a way that the person may be stressed, and this could also impact the interpersonal relationship with their wives and children, and could also create further problems such as drinking, or could also lead to substance abuse, could also create problems with anger and distress. And so, work itself creates this uh, problems for a person. And like I said, personal problems also creates this challenges for these individuals that are likely to trickle into their work environment and their work experiences. So, what are some ways that we could address um, anxiety disorder and other challenges that people have as a result of the interrelationship between work and their personal lives? One of the ways is by what we call systematic desensitization. If a person has a lot of anxiety um, about something, um, there is the what we could do is to assist that person to experience a relaxed state of mind that kind of like inhibits their severe reaction to stress. Systematic desensitization is a technique that is used to help the person to reduce their anxiety through muscle relaxation. So the person would um, visualize anxiety provoking event, but instead of reacting physiologically, would respond in a way that is much more different, such that this time they're more relaxed and they are not responding out of fear or of anxiety. And so that brings us to the end of our lecture. Um, One thing I would encourage you to do is also to read through the text. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email. And have a great week.